Of course, I had to start off the show with Vana, who I just saw Saturday night at the Complex in Salt Lake City. It was a busy night, Saturday night down in Utah. You had Set It Off, Fame on Fire, Vana and Autumn Kings. You also had Fit for a King, Spite, Make Them Suffer, 156 Silence. I believe that was at the Union? Maybe somewhere else. I don't know. I wish it was in the other room at the Complex, so that way I could have, swapped back and forth. That's the one really cool thing about the Complex is that there's two rooms, so you could technically go to one show and then just go right across for another band and, all that whole thing. But, yeah, it was a great weekend. I already talked about what had happened on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem. To make a long story short, on the way back from Salt Lake City towards Ryrie, unfortunately, a car kicked a rock up, hit my window, and I got my first ever rock chip right there in my line of vision on the driver's side of the car, the front windshield. Boom, it hit me so fast. It happened so fast, it took like a couple seconds for me to process it all, My girlfriend, the same thing. She was in the car with me. We just heard this like boom, and then she looked and saw, it was right in front of me. The crack happened. It sucks. 5 years, almost 5 years of being in Idaho with no rock chip. It finally happens, and I got it filled in this morning, and it still looks bad. I mean, you can still see the legs of it. You can still see it for the most part, and I feel so dirty for driving around a car with a somewhat cracked windshield. I feel awful. I want to get the whole thing replaced. I have to go through my insurance and all that crap. What a great way to start the week, If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. Shout out to Maddie, our marketing assistant from down the hall. She took pictures of all four bands Saturday night, also recorded both interviews with Set It Off and Autumn Kings, so I'm hoping that those can get on our YouTube channel ASAP at KBEAR 101 RMG. It was a fun time, but I also wish we had a 3-day weekend. Victor's not here. Maddie's not even here today. I should have taken the day off, but I'm here anyway. It's Peach's Pip Party on KBEAR 101. One thing I've been having way too much fun with, I should say, is Suno, the AI song generator app. Basically what I did late last night, I was up late last night creating these AI-generated songs. I know, the war against AI, I know, my apologies. I don't want to make the anti-AI crowd mad for even doing this. Messing with AI is still using AI. I know. It's just crazy how, with this app, you can make anything. You can tell it to do any style of music, any lyrics, any whatever you want musically, it'll give it to you. This AI music generator used to sound so bad. You could tell it was AI generated, but there are some songs on there that I would rather listen to than the real thing, because it's something that I created. I'm like, man, this sounds good. This is what I've been looking for, type of thing, and it's scary because when you're listening to it, you gotta tell yourself, hey, this is not real. Those instruments, not real. Those vocals, not real. It's all AI generated. But I thought of something hilarious because I've been using this app to kind of jokingly make diss tracks about people. I tell ChatGPT, give me a Suno prompt about this specific person. Here are the details about this person. But you have to tell ChatGPT that person's fake. Otherwise, it won't do it for you. And so then it gives you the prompt, the lyrics. Then you plug it into Suno. And then Suno makes you a full-on song within 30 seconds, maybe even a minute. And you can listen to it, and it sounds studio quality. It sounds really good. I bet you if I didn't say anything and I just played one of those AI-generated songs, I'm sure hardly anyone would bat an eye, to be quite honest with you. The fact that I'm pointing it out right now, people are probably going to be listening extra carefully asking themselves, is this song AI generated? But the funny thing is that if you really, really wanted to send a prank to somebody or be mean to someone, you send them a track that's AI generated that's just straight up dissing them, like straight up insulting them, and you just text it to them, send it to them, see what their reaction is. Like an artist really sat down and made a whole song about me, and just it's quite fun. Sorry again to the anti-AI crowd. You know, with the recent government shutdown, there was a lot of flights that were delayed, also canceled. I'd rather have my flight delayed by a lot of time compared to going through something like this. This Delta passenger talked about his story on Reddit, that he was taking this 5-hour flight from Florida to LAX. And he was trapped next to his smelly co-passenger, smelly seatmate, who had an accident and left a mark on the seat, if you catch my drift. Now, a Delta Airlines passenger, this is the full thing from Toronto Sun. A Delta Airlines passenger made a stink, get it, about a recent flight after being stuck sitting next to an older traveler who had an accident, left the full-on the smears on the seat. The flyer shared their smelly story, again, get it, detailing how they assumed the direct flight from Florida to LAX would be smooth sailing. Well, that wasn't the case. Yeah. The moment he sat down, I knew I was SOL, is what the Redditor wrote. Turns out he had some serious mobility issues, which meant I was effectively window seat prisoned for 5.5 hours. They noted colorfully how flight attendants would check on their seatmate and assess the situation. Every breath was a gamble. The traveler noted how upon landing, their seatmate immediately stood up against instructions naturally, and that's when the horror revealed itself. Wow. That smell. Sitting next to an old person. Oh, man. I would feel bad, but then at the same time be kind of irritated about it, really. I'd be, for the most part, irritated. But I think Delta apologized to the passenger, with the flight attendant offering to give them 5,000 airline miles, which they said was nice, but not enough. I think this person says, I think I deserved therapy and several showers. I do love the professional apologies that airlines give out. They took a screenshot and posted it. At Delta, we take pride in delivering an exceptional experience, providing reliable and thoughtful service at every moment of your travel journey. On your recent trip with us, we didn't live up to that commitment, and we want you to know that we're sorry. It's not Delta's fault. It's the person who sat next to him fault. It's their fault. Your satisfaction means everything. It's why we do what we do. We hope we'll give you an opportunity to make things right. Please accept 5,000 miles along with our heartfelt apology. Now, here's the thing. Why didn't anybody go with this older person? If it's so normalized for that person to, I don't know, use the restroom when they shouldn't be, when they're not in the restroom, why wasn't somebody with that older person that has serious mobility issues? Why is it the airline's fault? Where's the person's caretaker? Did that person just go on a trip by himself from Florida to LA? I don't know. But I just figured that'd be a funny poop story to talk about on the air here. Las Vegas wonders why it's failing. I mean, I've seen so many articles of how tourism is down in Las Vegas, like nobody really wants to go. I mean, there are still a good amount of people going to Vegas, but they're not having a good time. A lot of places charging you these weird fees. We talked about it previously. There's been a few hotels that have been using sensors to where if you lift up something from like the snack tray or the refrigerator, you would get charged a giant amount of money just by taking that out of the mini fridge, and they would charge you like $10 for a bottle of soda. And it's ridiculous. But I just saw this article pop up that Las Vegas strip casinos are selling bottled water at nearly $9. This person went on to say that Starting at Circus Circus, a bottle of water costs $4.25 at the Market Express, which is still a lot of money just for water. At Treasure Island, the same bottle is $2.49. That's not too bad at the CVS pharmacy, while a gift shop at Caesars charges $6.49. The Flamingo, the oldest casino on the Strip, offers the most expensive option at $8.99. Excalibur their bottles are $5.29. Street vendors, I guess what people are flocking to, which makes sense. I mean, 2 bottles for $5, 3 for $6, maybe. Vegas, I've been so badly wanting to go back to Las Vegas just to see it again. The last time that I was there was 20 years ago, back when I was real young. We went to Circus Circus. We played some of the games, I think, back then. And back then, my dad was also like, we're not going on any of the rides. We're not going to spend too much money here. I forgot exactly why we were in Vegas. It might have been just like one of those, hey, let's go take a nice little weekend to someplace new. And you can't really have fun in Vegas as a kid. Now that I'm nearly 30, I want to go to Vegas and experience the casinos at least once. But if it's not looking good for them right now, I don't know. Maybe now's not the best time to go. Or maybe it is the best time to go because nobody's there. I mean, there's still going to be tons of people there. Who am I kidding? Let's do some Atreyu Now Dead on Peach's Pit Party. Boston Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla has had great success leading the team, even winning the NBA championship during the 2023-24 season. To get those results, it seems he's tried some unusual and extreme stuff to prepare players in practice. During a recent interview, Jason Tatum told a story about how Mazzulla cranked up the intensity of a one-on-one drill by blasting the sound effect of machine guns over the speakers in the gym. The entire time we did this drill, Tatum said, just the machine guns were going off nonstop, and that's kind of how we started practice. He's like, play the music, and next thing you know, you're in a war zone. It looks like another superstar from Japan will be joining Major League Baseball soon, as third baseman Munetaka Murakami opened a 45-day window to sign with an MLB team. Murakami holds the single-season home run record for a Japanese player in Nippon professional baseball, having hit 56 in 2022. A prolific power hitter, Murakami leaves the Tokyo Yakult Swallows with 246 home runs over his 8 seasons in Japan. Canada has been fully independent from the United Kingdom for over 4 decades, but the two countries have close ties. King Charles III is still officially considered the King of Canada and will begin appearing on its own $20 banknotes in 2027, replacing Queen Elizabeth II. Because of this close, weird connection, Prince Harry stirred up some trouble by wearing a Los Angeles Dodgers hat when attending the World Series. He lives in LA, so it makes sense that he's a Dodgers fan. That doesn't matter, though. The political mess now called Hatgate, required Harry to apologize to Canada for the misstep. I think it's quite dumb. If he lives in LA, wants to be a Dodgers fan, let him be a Dodgers fan. Who cares? That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on KBEAR 101. One of the big headlines last week was that GTA 6 got delayed again. Like, wasn't it supposed to show up this year? Then it got delayed to May of 2026. And then Victor said something like, hey, we're getting closer and closer to that release date of Grand Theft Auto 6. Very excited for that. We're less than 6 months away. And then literally the next day, it got delayed again. Rockstar Games said GTA 6 will now release Thursday, November 19th, 2026. So everybody was making jokes about it. I believe the official Empire State Building Twitter account said it only took a year to build us. The Guinness World Records, the official Twitter account of Guinness World Records, said the current record for the longest development period of a video game, 14 years, 43 days. Officially announced on April 28th, 1997 by developer 3D Realms, the first-person shooter Duke Nukem Forever was finally released June 10th, 2011. That game, I heard, was a piece of crap, wasn't it? You started off the game by using the restroom, I think, and it just went downhill from there. But GTA 6 might break that record. It was released 2013. I mean, who knows? It could get delayed again, to be quite honest. Rockstar doesn't seem at all really remorseful about it. They seem very unapologetic about it. They just kind of say, oh, we're sorry for adding additional time, but that's about it, really. They're just like, yeah, we'll get you the game when we decide to release it. Grand Theft Auto 6, for now, release date November 19th, 2026. Peaches Pit Party right here on KBEAR 101. One of my favorite stores growing up was Target. Loved going to Target. Even in my early 20s, I would just leave my parents' house, go walk around Target, see what they had, and that was about it. Well, that was back when I could freely spend money without having to worry about rent and other bills, right? Target here, not necessarily the same. I'm sorry to the Idaho Falls Target. It's just too tiny, and it's not, I mean, at least it's there, right? I think Pocatello is set to get a Target at some point, maybe a couple years from now. I don't know exactly when. I thought they demolished the Pine Ridge Mall to then develop this whole outdoor shopping center, and that Target was going to be one of the stores there. I don't know. I'll go by one of my many mantras, and that is, I'll believe it when I see it. Another one of those mantras that I have is the best interaction is no interaction with certain people. Like, I love when people come up to me and say they're a listener, all that stuff. Please interact with me. If you ever see me walk somewhere, be like, oh, that's Peaches. And then you say, what's up? That's awesome. But when it comes to customer service and they give you that forced, hi, how are you? What can I help you find anything today? I never liked that. It's like if I needed your help, I would have just walked in and said, hey, I need this, 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 and this. But for the most part, I'm browsing when I walk into a store. So I just go, I'm browsing. And then that's when they, are forced to say, well, we're having a 40% off everything deal in this store. No kidding. I couldn't tell by the signs everywhere. And of course, if I needed their help, I would then go up to them and ask any question that I had. So I'm kind of, unhappy with this new rule that Target is now enforcing with its employees. Bloomberg News reported that the policy is known as the 10-4 rule. Basically, Target has been in this slump for the past, couple of years. The CEO stepped down, and now there's this whole thing where basically it's their new 10-4 policy. If customers are within 10 feet of a worker, the worker must make eye contact, smile, and say hello. If customers come within 4 feet of a worker, the worker must either ask if they need help or check in to see how their day is going. Like, why do I need to? It could help their work day. I could see that being a thing, but don't workers, for the most part, don't these workers just want to get their job done and not be pressured into asking a dumb question? Like, what if one of them walks up to me and says, hi, how's your day going? I go, awful. I got a rock chip in my window. What do you want? What are they going to say after that? No, they're going to be, oh, we're so sorry to hear that. By the way, there's a sale on electronics. If you buy one Xbox game, you get it at full price. Okay, cool. Thanks. Really. There's no need for this rule. There could be a bunch of other things that you could implement to win customers back. I don't think this would really fix anything. I think it's just, I can't imagine the write-ups those employees are going to get with this. Like, oh, you didn't say hi to this lady in aisle 7. Our security cameras show that you just simply ignored her. Yeah, I was restocking the shelves. Well, you can't do that with this new 10-4 rule. I think a lot of Target workers are about to quit. If you ever want to see what shows are coming to the area, check out that concert calendar. I will always talk about it at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. I always use it to plan what my next concert is going to be. Saturday night, was potentially my last rock show of 2025, unless something pops up during the month of December. I'll have to check our calendar for myself and see if anything is worth battling the snow to go to. Every show is a gamble this time of year. You don't know if the weather is going to make it the hardest journey ever, or if it's just going to be nice and easy. Luckily, this past weekend was nice and easy, except for that rock that came barreling towards my window and cracked it and sort of ruined the weekend for me. I'm not a big fan of rock chips. My first one ever living in Idaho. Just don't really want to have that happen ever again. I sure hope not. Knocking on wood. But weather was fantastic this weekend. But if you want to see what shows are coming to the area, check it out, riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. I did see announced for next year, literally like a year from today, almost a year from today, November 14th, 2026, 3 Days Grace, I Prevail, and the funeral portrait are going to be at the Ford Idaho Center Arena. Luckily, it is inside, but, this time next year, we could have a whole bunch of snow on the ground, and good luck trying to drive that 4-hour adventure. I can tell you, that wind really messes with you. When you try driving on that empty highway and that wind picks up and it picks up your car too, it's scary. Got to be safe out there. Let's play some I Prevail right now, a song I like to call On the Air Into Heck on KBEAR 101. Lots of people out there are fearful of being stopped by the cops, even if they've done nothing wrong, right? For some people, this is fear rooted in previous violent interactions with the police. For others, it's simply paranoia. After all, there are lots and lots of traffic laws. Like, what if you broke one, didn't even realize it? Well, you should really listen to Traffic School, powered by the Advocates, every Friday morning, 8:45 on the Victor Wiltz Show. Lieutenant Marvin Crane of the Idaho State Police. He'll join the show, answer any question that you might have about any law. He'll give you the correct answer, unlike those people on the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook page. When one gets pulled over by a cop, though, there's always a chance that the officer is looking for more than just a simple speeding charge. That's why many legal experts advise that you be careful with your answers to whatever questions a police officer asks you. Now, a former FBI agent has sparked discussion after sharing 3 common questions a cop might ask you during a traffic stop that you should avoid answering. Steve Lazarus, he's an author, retired FBI Special Agent, United States Air Force veteran, says there are 3 common questions that a police officer might ask you that could cause problems. The first question is simply, where are you headed today, or where are you coming from? Lazarus says this one's iffy. He's hoping you'll say, I'm coming from a Super Bowl party or something similar, so he can develop enough reasonable suspicion to hook you up for a DUI type of thing, right? The safe bet, which doesn't necessarily feel safe in my book, is I'd rather not answer that. But if you're leaving church or your shift as a volunteer at the Children's Hospital and you think that may work in your favor, that's your call for the question, where are you headed today, or where are you coming from? The second question is, do you know why I stopped you? He knows why he stopped you, but he's hoping you'll provide more bait for his little fishing trip, is what Lazarus says. Instead of answering, even if you have a suspicion as to why, Lazarus suggests simply just saying no. That's it. Finally, another question one might encounter during a traffic stop is, would you mind if I just take a quick look around inside your car? Lazarus goes on to say, same fishing trip, and now he just wants to see how stupid you are. You're not, he shares. So the answer is, I do not give you permission to search my person or my vehicle, which also seems very suspicious. I don't know. Maybe we should look over this article again with Lieutenant Crane, Friday morning, 8:45 for Traffic School, powered by the Advocates. By the way, you can listen to previous episodes of that podcast wherever you get your podcasts or at riverbendmediagroup.com/podcasts. KBEAR 101, I was reading something here about how some adults are planning to put up 3 or more Christmas trees this year, which 1 is already enough work. I can't imagine doing 3 or more. There was a house in my parents' neighborhood. I'm sure they still do it. They put up this giant Christmas tree because they have this perfect, very tall part of their house where they can put up a 50-foot tall Christmas tree. And I can't imagine trying to decorate that giant thing. You got to get you almost got to get like a cherry picker out or something. I don't know how they do it. But, my tree, 6.5 feet tall. That's it. It's going to be right there, right by my kitchen. I have the same generic ornaments, the same generic lights that are already on the Christmas tree itself. The reason why I'm talking about this is because now I've seen a few people already put up their Christmas trees, my parents included. My dad posted theirs last night. My sister, my dad, my mom did a great job decorating it. It looks awesome, but I'm over here like contradicting myself because I'm thinking about putting it up already, which I know seems kind of early. I'm usually the person that's like, hey, you know what? Put it up December 1st. But then it's like, if you put it up December 1st, you only have 25 days to enjoy it before you got to take it back down and, put it back in the box, put it back in the closet. And there goes the magic of Christmas. There's nothing worse than when you realize Christmas is over. You open up that last present, you go, wow, that was great. And then you have to look forward to it next year. I hate that last week of each year, from December 26th to January 2nd, maybe, where you just had that weird, awkward period where most people are off work. Most people are just traveling. It becomes a ghost town around here around that time, which is why I'm hoping this year, I can just go home after Christmas, enjoy some time with the family, bring the girlfriend for the first time to Southern California, come back and enjoy 2026, which I can't believe is already almost here. Peach's Pit Party right here on KBEAR 101. This could be, maybe not. I was thinking about making this a to Peach their own question, but I know the answer that I would get. Chantel asked Josh on Classy 97 this morning, if someone were to come to Idaho, what would you tell them not to do? And of course, what would be the number one answer with that? Don't show up. Idaho's full. That would be the stereotypical answer. I still see those comments on Instagram Reels. Sometimes those Reels will pop up about like, here are the top 5 places to go in Idaho. And then you look at the comments and it says, oh, the Idaho's full, go to Utah. And then you go to like a Utah Reel, and then the Utah Reel would say, don't come to Utah, go to Idaho. Oh, man. Yeah, but what would you not do? Seriously, like what would you not do here? You would not pronounce Boise as Boise. I was told that from the start. I was also told back when I was doing afternoons on 105 The Hawk, it was hilarious because Jade was telling me back in the day, hey, don't mention where you're from on The Hawk. I mean, you can somewhat mention it on KBEAR, but on The Hawk, those listeners might be like, hey, go back to where you came from because, grew up in Southern California. I mean, there's already a few people that already hated me from the very beginning just because I was one of those people that moved out here at the wrong time, If I moved out here in 2017 when nobody was really moving out here, it would have been just fine. But the fact that I moved out here post-2020, very early 2021, it was January 29th, 2021, that I moved out here. First day on the air, February 1st, 2021. And all of a sudden, all those other Californians that came in. But the thing is, the difference between me and those Californians is that I'm broke. I'm not a retired 60-year-old rich person coming to Idaho to buy up all the housing. Like I'm struggling too. I live in one of the crappiest apartments that you can get on the ghetto side of East Idaho. Everyone always says, "Oh, you live on that street." Ooh, it's the tough side. It's the bad side of Idaho. It's like, yeah, dude, I feel like a real gangster on my street. Growing up near Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood, I didn't feel gangster then. I feel gangster on this bad turf of Idaho Falls, Anyway, let's move right on into some sleep token emergence. It's Peach's Pit Party. Alrighty, so travelers at Melbourne International Airport in Australia got quite a scare last Thursday when a man suddenly just caught fire inside the, how do you say this again? The Qantas Business Lounge. It turns out the man had a power bank in his jacket pocket, which suddenly just burst into flames, set him on fire. Witnesses described a chaotic scene as the lounge filled with smoke and battery acid sprayed all over the place. The lounge was evacuated as the staff put out the fire. They also rushed the man into a shower to rinse him off. The man in his 50s suffered burns to his legs, fingers, but he's now in stable condition at a local hospital, thankfully. I love the headline of this article, by the way. This airport lounge is so fire. Is that too soon? Yeah, I think it's too soon. What is potentially the absolute worst thing that you could bring to the Thanksgiving table? Should I ask ChatGPT that? What is the absolute worst dish you can bring to Thanksgiving? Hosted at somebody else's house. I'm sure it's going to say something like tuna casserole or something like that. Okay, now, I don't know. It just says a half-eaten dish. Obviously, you wouldn't want to bring that. Duh. Okay, it says tuna jello salad. Yes, this existed in the 1950s. No, it's not ironic or retro. It's a war crime. There are some people out there that still try to get crazy funky with the jello. Knock it off. Have jello be regular. Maybe put some whipped cream on top. That's about it. Anything still frozen? The thought that counts doesn't apply when your green bean casserole is an ice block. That would be pretty funny. You just bring like some sort of Stouffer's product. You bring the Hungry Man TV dinner, one of those, to the Thanksgiving table. I would still rather eat that than eat some turkey. That's just me. A salad you made up on the way there for an answer to what is the absolute worst dish you can bring to Thanksgiving. If it involves hot Cheetos, pickles, and ranch, leave it in the car. Store-bought gas station sushi, really? See, nobody's bringing that at all. Oh, ambrosia. Is that the one thing? Is that the thing that people are talking about? No, that's the sweet, soupy, lukewarm bowl of like Jell-O and cream or something like that. No, is it mayo that's in it? Ambrosia. An American variety of fruit salad originating in the southern United States. Most ambrosia recipes contain canned or fresh pineapple, canned mandarin orange slices, miniature marshmallows, and coconut. See, does that really sound appetizing? Again, on a holiday that you're supposed to be thankful for the ability to have a feast, and you bring the ambrosia fruit salad? Give me a break. I got distracted in trying to find to peach their own question. I might just unfortunately skip it for today, because I even tried finding a question on r/Ask Reddit, and they're all political related. And then there's one that says, how do you work from 8 to 5, have only weekends free, and not feel like you're wasting your life? If you have a suggestion for a question, let me know. 208-535-1015. And if not, no big deal. I can just skip it. We can talk about some other random crap during this hour. There's a question I came across from Ask Reddit. What is the deepest internet rabbit hole you've ever fallen into? And I was thinking about how Aubrey and I were talking about the whole thing that Garth Brooks is a serial killer. And it's quite weird how it all connects, you know? There are some conspiracy theories that you see online and you're like, that does make sense. You do make a lot of valid points here. What is the deepest internet rabbit hole you've ever fallen into? There was a paperboy kidnapped a route. Kidnapped a route. Who wrote this? There was a paperboy kidnapped a route over from my paper route. A route over from my paper route in the mid-'80s. I've spent a lot of time reading about him to the point that I've made comments on Reddit, and I have been contacted by others wanting to interview me about it. And one of the guys in the comments goes, Johnny? And the original poster goes, yep, that's him. Interesting. Deaths on Mount Everest started as a curious click on a random article, then got pulled into all the documentaries and articles. It's horrifying. You know, I just saw something posted on Reddit not that long ago about the Nutty Putty Cave. How many people have died in the Nutty Putty Cave? Is it just the one major incident? There can't be just that one incident. The death of John Jones. It's this cave located west of Utah Lake in Utah County, Utah, is what it says here. The cave attracted amateur and professional cavers alike. Despite its narrow passageways, I figured it has been permanently closed. Has been permanently closed to the public since 2009, following an accident that killed John Edward Jones. John Edward Jones. That name is just so basic, but such a unique name at the same time. John Edward Jones. Sounds like a character in something, you know? Found a Twitter post of someone asking for leads on the author of an abandoned book. It related to a town in Ireland, so I tried to find a local news outlet to possibly contact. I got distracted by the obituaries on their website and came across one that had a video link that was about to start streaming, and that's how I ended up watching a random Irish grandma's funeral service for an hour. Pretty fun thread for what is the deepest internet rabbit hole you've ever fallen into. Again, going back to the whole Garth Brooks thing, I might need to buy that book that I saw earlier that we talked about on the Noon Hour of Madness and Mayhem, Friends in Low Places. How Garth Brooks might be a serial killer, you know? Ooh. All right, so I had a few people talk to me off the air at 208-535-1015 about potential to peach their own questions. Crazy Jay called in, and he said, maybe I should ask, why do people feel the need to go to a hot spring when it's extremely cold outside? And I was thinking, maybe not that question. And then I had another listener call in and say, hey, could you potentially do a voting poll and ask simply, do you like Sleep Token? Yes or no? And I might just post that in the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group, because I also want to know that answer to that question too. Because there are a lot of people who dislike Sleep Token. There are even more amount of people, an even bigger amount of people, that love Sleep Token. So I wonder, what will the official results be of the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group? So I'll post that in there just to see what the results turn out to be. Peach's Pit Party right here on KBEAR 101. Make sure to cast your vote for the very important voting poll in the KBEAR 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. Do you like Sleep Token? Yes or no? Because one listener during the 4 p.m. hour asked me or told me to ask that to Peach their own question. I couldn't really think of anything for today. And when I went to r/ask Reddit, it was all political. How do you feel about Trump doing this? How do you feel about this doing that? Blah, 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 blah. It's so dumb. Yeah. Ask Reddit has turned into this political discussion page, and I hate it. I avoid politics altogether, which is why I laughed when one time I don't know how I was brought up into this one particular comment section. I've mentioned it a couple times on the air now, where one guy was saying something about Victor's political views, and then I was brought into it. The one guy said Peaches is a leftist because he uses Reddit. I'm like, how loony are people? How crazy are people? Peaches uses Reddit. There must have been some in-depth thought into that whole thing. Peaches uses Reddit, so that means he likes to lean left politically. No, absolutely not. Stop it. Hate politics. Hate the discussion of politics. That's how you get rid of me. That's how you get me to leave a room. You ever have a political discussion? You ever try to incite a political discussion? I'll get up and leave right away. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.